We're looking at a classic today. This is the Bathing Ape Bapesta in all white. What's up, guys? BJ Kicks. Welcome back to my channel, Kicks on Kicks, where I review sneakers. Now, today, we're taking a look at what I consider to be a classic sneaker. This is the Bathing Ape Bapesta in all white. Now, this lighting, I don't know if you're going to be able to see all the details from this angle, but don't get me wrong. We got plenty of B-roll. It's going to be great. So we're going to take a look at the shoe. We're going to take a look at the packaging. I'm going to give you a little bit of history on this and some legit checking points you can look out for. So let's go ahead and get into it. Before we do, I give a huge and quick shout out to the seller. Their information is in the description down below, so don't miss it. But yeah, this is a classic. This is the Bathing Ape Bapesta, and this is all white. Now, I'm old enough to remember when Bape ran the world. This was like 06, 07, maybe even back to like 04, 05. But when I was in high school, right, you had Pharrell, you had the Clips, and then you had like the rise of Lil Wayne in like 07, right? Like when Lil Wayne was just untouchable. And the one thing all of them had in common were these sneakers, the Bathing Ape Bapesta, designed by Nigo as a clear homage, if not bootleg or copycat, of the classic Air Force One, the Uptown, the Ups, the Dunks. There are people in the South that called Air Force Ones Dunks. I mean, look, I live in North Carolina. It was a thing. But anyway, Air Force Ones had been a thing for us since like the early 2000s when Nelly made the Air Force One song. And all of a sudden, if you didn't have a fresh white pair of Air Force Ones, like you were tripping. Then early 2000s, Nigo creates this brand called A Bathing Ape. And it's a streetwear brand. It's got clothes and stuff. You know the logo. This is the logo. You saw these shirts in every high school in America in 07. But anyway, creates this brand and this really cool sneaker. Now, unlike the AF or the Bapestas in the past, this sneaker's got one really key difference. The Bathing Ape Bapestas used to come with the most ridiculous color schemes, and most of them were outfitted in an all patent leather design. So patent leather like the Jordan 11, candy colors, and all of a sudden everybody needed these. Now, the first time I remember seeing a pair of Bapestas was in the Cassidy hotel video with R. Kelly. And it was like, oh snap, his Air Force Ones have stars on them. Had no idea Bape was a different brand until like a couple years later. But anyway, the Bathing Ape Bapesta. It's basically an Air Force One low with some obvious branding changes and a big star. So quick once around of the shoe. Let's start with the outsole, because this is basically an Air Force One, but it's got enough distinguishing factors to be its own thing. And here's the outsole. Instead of the classic sort of circular design that you've seen on Air Force Ones, this is basically that same design, but with a star at the center. So a bunch of concentric stars all around. You got your heel stars and toe stars, just like on your Air Force One. You got this nice little registered trademark symbol and the Bapesta logo, of course, right here in the midfoot. So that's that, and that's going to lead you to this chunky midsole, which, like I said, is basically the midsole of an Air Force One. I don't even have a pair of Air Force Ones to show you. I wore so many of those in middle school, and then I got like actual comfortable sneakers in college. And I was like, I'm never wearing a pair of Air Force Ones again. But super chunky midsole. Instead of AF1 right here, you got Bape. Now, it's important to note, this is an updated design. The Bapes of the past looked a lot closer to the Air Force One, meaning there wasn't this double line on the back of the heel and on the toe. And there were only 3 letters right here. It used to just say Ape. Now it says Bape. Those are some things they had to do to differentiate themselves from the Nike silhouette, because now Nike can trademark entire silhouettes. That wasn't a thing in the fashion world until a few years ago. But anyway, history lessons over. Let's move on to the upper, where, like I said, what made me decide to get this shoe was that it was not patent leather. Most Bapes are patent leather, and I'm like just not wearing shiny shoes everywhere. But this is an all white sort of full grain leather. It feels synthetic. It feels tough. This is not like you know, anything super soft. This is not a vachetta tan. This is not like shattered backboard leather. This is your standard plasticky Air Force One feeling leather. You got your 2 holes in the midfoot panel. Your toe box has the same hole pattern. I mean, this is pretty much an Air Force One. The only thing that's different is this not swoosh. This is called the STA, the BAPE STA logo. It's a nice zigzag line leading to a star that takes up that full center panel. And now on this shoe, that star and this heel tab that says Bapesta are made of patent leather. And that is the key difference. Now, on your lace loop, you do have a nice Bathing Ape head logo instead of like that AF1 tag. On your tongue tag, you got the Bapesta logo. And another big difference is the sock liner of this. This shoe has a leather sock liner and it's plush and it feels good on your feet. The big issue with Air Force Ones, to me, they're an uncomfortable shoe. This isn't like leveling up the comfort by a lot, but that sock liner definitely adds to it. And honestly, man, that's the shoe. So we took a look at the shoe. Let's take a look at the packaging and some extras that you get with it. So with the Bathing Ape Bapesta, you get this. Now this camo print is like a signature of the Bape or the Bathing Ape brand. Bape for short, of course. Look at this. This is a pull-out drawer. So you pull out this drawer, and you got your sneakers inside, and you got this nice Bathing Ape, that same camo pattern in white on the white tissue paper. But inside the box, you get a couple of extras. You don't just get the shoes. You get this very cool dust bag, which is different than what they had back in the day. Back in the day, you used to get this red, like plasticky drawstring bag, and it said Foot Soldier on it. But now you got this nice minimal bag. Reminds you of almost like a luxury shoe, like a Gucci or a Louis Vuitton. This nice tan textured bag. Feels kind of like muslin, but it's a little bit tougher than that. And then you get this little cardboard ape head. I don't know what you would use it for. I guess this could be a coaster. I don't know. People just like sitting little branding things in their house to tell you who they are. So I could put this like on this little table behind me, and then you see an ape head and be like, yeah, he's a real streetwear head. So that's the packaging that comes with the shoe. As far as legit checking points, there's only really one thing that I've noticed on this shoe, and that is the newer Bapestas have a bit of a slimmer profile. So you see like this toe box is kind of tall, and the whole like upper of the shoe, like right here, this mud guard, I've noticed it's a little bit thinner on the authentic pairs. So that's something you might notice for legit checking. Other than that, though, it's a Bapesta. It looks like an Air Force One with a star and a couple of little metal rivets, and that's the shoe. That's the shoe. Now, I decided to go down a half size for this pair specifically. I got these in the 8.5 because the biggest thing with Air Force Ones, and especially all white Air Force Ones, is like you wear them once, you wear them twice, they get all creasy, they get all dirty, and you can't wear them anymore. So taking these a half size down, my foot is like just big enough for this shoe. That might help keep it from creasing as quickly, but I'll let you know how the comfort is over time. With that said, let's go ahead and get these on feet and end the review. Thanks for watching.